Feel free to talk.
Boss, we've done all as you said.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, boss. Everything like you asked. It's in my car, boss.
I'm surprised. You're actually good for something. So, where is it, Brady?
Here, in the trunk.
What the fuck is that? You fat Irish prick. You're supposed to bring me a coat, not a skinny anima kid. Where is LOOT.BET code I asked it for?
Well, he wasn't talking.
Are you out your mind, Brady? Because I swear I put your brain to sleep. He ain't talking because his fucking mouth is closed.
So, maybe I should open it.
Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. God is loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, code is loot.
Oh my god, idiot. Fuck, I surrendered by idiots.
Hey, kid. Sorry about that.
An absolute killer of an advert, to say the least. Hello. Welcome back. We've got Endpoint taking on ANONYMO. We just saw map 1 in which ANONYMO were able to take Endpoint's map pick of Inferno, 16-11. Here we are on ANONYMO's map pick of Vertigo, and well, any second now we'll be able to get thrust into this. So of course, I'm Castle Crowd by I'm joined by the wonderful M&J. How do you feel about this one, Josh? I assume he's feeling pretty good. And moving on,
I've done it again. Oh my goodness. This is what happens. Grandma. When you're running it and I just have one button to mute my mic on Discord, I just always forget to unmute it. I'm feeling good about this one. We saw a bit of an upset from ANONYMO over on Endpoint's pick of Inferno. I now think, potentially off of what we saw there, where they were able to take it 16-11, I'm actually feeling them to maybe take this one in 2. We'll have to wait and see. I wouldn't be surprised if Endpoint kind of give us like a little bit of a second burst here and do take this one to a third map. Right now, though, once again, the knife for sides, it doesn't make a huge amount of difference here when it comes to Vertigo, but what's happening?
I hear a lot of chat messages coming up. Okay, there we go. Right, into this knife round, and honestly, Josh, if you had to pick on Vertigo, which side do you want to start on?
I like starting on my CT side. I know some teams favor their T side, but yeah, I mean, I understand it. But yeah, I always like starting off on my CT side. I always find it just easier to kind of get warmed up when you're on your CT side, and I think a lot of teams always just favor their CT side on many maps. Knives for sides though in mid. And as we've kind of talked about, it means that these knife rounds are impactful. Normally, they really don't make any difference. But yeah, knife round strats have been a thing. We saw one over on Inferno, didn't we? It didn't work, but...
Yeah, that wasn't really a knife round strat, was it? It was more Robin in the corner. He was pounced and just kind of went downhill from there. But
yeah,
it's interesting to say the least in terms of how knife rounds on every map affect the dynamic, because right now we look over to Endpoint, who have lost this. They're in a tough spot. They lost their map pick. They're moving on to ANONYMO's best map by quite a distance. How on earth do they hope to beat it? How on earth do they hope to stop this? The reason they were so good on Vertigo is because they had that entry power in Flames. That's gone. What can they do next?
Well, we're just going to have to see something next level here from Endpoint on Vertigo. They're on ANONYMO's home map, their best pick. And my goodness, look at that. A beautiful headshot from Carla to kick things off. But Snacks, he overstays his welcome a little bit there after missing those initial shots. I wanted to just see him fall away, but he sticks around. He tries to follow up, and he can't do so. Gets a Glock right in the head for it. Now a 4-on-2 and Endpoint. I think they should be able to take this pistol.
Well, there's that opening, and now on the flip side, we see Crucial just trying to tease a peek towards Ram. Spots out K. He's even able to double down onto Minio. Minio falls. He's got Robert there to assist K to fool. And I'll tell you what, pretty clean round from Endpoint. What looked scary is really well recovered there. We look over to ANONYMO now, who move into their reinvestment, who move into this forced buy. Deals come out. There's the odd bit of utility, not the end of the world, but I'll tell you what, nonetheless, Endpoint, they are still in a position where they could try and get this early momentum and convert it to try and win this game.
Well, heavy buy here from Endpoint going into the next, off of the back of winning the round and getting the bomb plant. We see them go for a couple of rifles, 3 MAC-10s as they face up against these Desert Eagles, and as Anonymo press for some aggressive ramp control. Mighty Max needs to be very careful here. He could go huge, or he could be eliminated right now. As you see the player towards sandbags, he's forced right out. CeX has to take the duel, can't quite win it. That's the man advantage for Endpoint that they're looking for. This has been a good start from them, but just like Inferno, they got off to a good start, and then as soon as Anonymo pulled out the full buy, Endpoint were in trouble.
You're absolutely right, and as we see these players make their way towards this site, a lot of damage done either way. Also, Mighty Max and Crucial, but they're unable to get the kills, and because of that, Kyler and Innocent alone quickly dispatched, and just like that, Endpoint with actually a very clean recovery there, as they win that round with, I believe, 4 men left standing. It may even be 5, actually. Yeah, 5 men left standing. Great round.
Yeah, really, really solid stuff. They take some damage, a fair amount of damage, but not taking any casualties is definitely what you're looking for there in that scenario. And they're going to be very, very happy moving forward. Anonymo onto this full eco off of the back of that force in the last. It's going to allow Endpoint onto 3, and then Anonymo, they'll have a full investment to try and bite back in round number 4. For now, though, these MAC-10s are a really good opportunity to just farm some cash. Of course, they didn't lose any members last round. A great chance for them to get all of these kills. And there's a prime example of it. Snacks you could for 1, but the MAC-10s, they rack up so much money. Mighty Max, I think it's on about $8,000 right now. Crucial in a similar boat as well.
That's a sick round by Crucial. Of course, bonus code LOOT. Remember to go out to LOOT.BET and use that bonus code. Of course, there's that amazing advert from our Russian casters. Is definitely showing you kind of what to go along. And well, for Endpoint, let's see what they can hope to do now, moving into what will be a bit of a default against the full buy of Anonymo, and they kick things off with what will be an attempt at ramp control.
Well, key over towards this Ivy area, just waiting to spot someone out through that dissipating smoke. I thought when that one went, he'd be able to see Mighty Max, but no, there were 2 smokes in place. And as the secondary fades, Mighty Max able to just pounce, doubling down on the kills there. Snax's nade can respond, but oh my goodness, response nades come back through the other way. 3-0, and Endpoint, it looks like they might be able to make it 4.
That they do. Mineo again pushed up backside, ready to try and come out on top. He's got Kyler on the flank to try and assist him. So right now, Mineo only has to play for time. Righteous Guy brings out a few shots here or there, tags down Surreal. It's a bit of tickle damage, nothing too substantial. Here comes that flank of Kyler. It needs to go huge, it needs to come quick, otherwise it's going to be expected. And, well, the first player falling goes towards sandbags. That's the nice kill onto Crucial. It's all onto Surreal, 1 versus 2, shifting his way forward. He knows full well that this site has been lost, but with no kit on Anonymo, they're still in a tough spot. There's the first kill. Mineo falls. Trade there by Kyler. Does he have enough time? Of course he does. Really strong stuff by Anonymo there. And Kyler looks like a bit of BM for a moment there. But Anonymo, they find their first round nonetheless, though. And for Endpoint, they've got all the money in the world to reinvest. Both sides having taken damage, but for Anonymo, having lost 4 members means that actually their buy really won't be too good.
Well, this was a really, really good start to the round from Endpoint, but a beautiful recovery from Kyler. He's been a really incredible player so far this series. Not someone that's ever really been on my radar here, but is definitely putting himself there. He has found himself some huge impact multi-kills, some big clutches on these swing rounds, and that's another one of them.
It absolutely is, and as Innocent, he'll push his way over towards B. We've got Surreal. AK in hand. I'll allow these nades to ring out early on as he shifts forward. He'll deploy that quick little smoke. Timing doesn't favour him though. Mighty Max having shifted through the smoke, he gets that initial kill. Endpoint instantly a man up and really untraded by Anonymo there, who make a fair few mistakes. Snacks over towards Sandbags. This is a tough spot as well. Volleyed out of position. He's all the way out in the open. Luckily, he's able to survive for this brief amount of time, though. Crucial tries to ring out a few shots through the wall. Still unable to get the kill, and as Binio to get that molly to force him away. Only 25 HP left as Endpoint. They really start getting a fair bit of control.
Well, as the flashes rain over and we see this ramp control starting to shape up here for Endpoint. Thomas, beautiful headshot there onto Keep. Gives them this man advantage, and a good opportunity here to take this A site. The issue they face is that the rotations have come in. Robin able to find one more through the smoke, though. Brings us into a 4-on-2, and this is where it starts to get complicated for Anonymo, because they're losing heads quicker than they can fire off the shots, and that Snacks his cue to just fall away.
He's got to hold on to this orb. He's got to pray that he can get a hero play maybe later on in the rounds. However, unfortunately, this is a tough spot, to say the least, as Endpoint push their way forward. They're going to look to make it 4. That later, the even prevents Snacks from holding onto that orb. A great round, and for Anonymo, it's straight down to pistols and armor. They're going to have a really tough time recovering from this, to say the least, and, well, this is really where they struggle, because Endpoint, they're getting the ball rolling, and more importantly, they're looking to make themselves look really quite comfortable here against Anonymo.
They absolutely are, yeah. Their T side, it's been really good so far. They're showing that they are just really comfortable here on Vertigo, as they are with pretty much every single map in the pool. So you definitely can't count Endpoint out anywhere just because they're on someone else's map pick. It really doesn't matter all too much. However, we are still in the very early stages. Anonymo have only really had the opportunity to show us what they're made of in one gun round. The follow-up was completely shut down. But it does cement Endpoint a nice early lead. It means that they're going to be on to 5 rounds here at the very least. They have a decent half. Definitely hungry for more, though, and I think they should be able to take it. We've seen no presence towards B this map so far. Fully reliant on this A ramp control every single round, which they've been gifted. And I'm interested to see if it's something that Anonymous start to contest again in later rounds, whether they play this passive setup again, or how they kind of combat this ramp control, because they're really struggling with it.
Push comes forward. He's going to see if he can get this initial pick, and Thomas ready for it. Really nice clearance there, and he's even able to double down. Beautiful round by Endpoint, and they are really getting the ball rolling here, Josh. I thought this would be a complete reverse of the scorelines, which Anonymo just stomping Endpoint right now, but this is looking pretty deadlocked, to say the least, and well, Endpoint, if their momentum doesn't show any signs of slowing, which frankly at the moment it isn't, I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing a potential third map here.
We definitely could, yeah. I think it's actually really on the cards here. We'll have to wait and see. Going into this 7th, Anonymo, this is their chance to turn this around. Minio, nice opener. Kyla looks to follow up, and there we go. That's the start that Anonymo are looking for. Eliminate those lurkers, those members that just have that presence towards B, but don't commit to any kind of aggression and then fall away. They do lose 1 in the meantime, but with so much damage dealt onto Mighty Max, still in a really strong position and still a really good start to the round.
Thomas looking to be flashed into his position as well. He's got Mighty Max holding this flank. Well, Innocent ready for it. There's the first kill. This should spur on the attacker Thomas now, when as he sits to the other side of the smoke, plays the info game and comes out on top. With Minio falling, Robin's able to find a quick kill as well. However, Snacks, he's got the bomb. Thomas, with only a minute left, he does have a bit of time to try and outmaneuver the Anonymous players, but he's got to shut down both of them. And as Thomas just shifts his way forward, he'll try to swaps out Snacks. It's a messy spray down. Snacks punishes. And for Anonymo, they double their round count now as they make it 2. However, Endpoint, no economic woes at this point. As we were saying, none of them having double their round count, but Endpoint, all the money in the world now.
Yeah, they've got so much cash behind them. I mean, you've got to remember, not only did they take several rounds in a row, but also those opening rounds were majority Mac 10 kills and things like that. So we saw a lot of cash build up early. Now with a quick pause, I think it's of a technical nature by the looks of things. Hopefully whatever it is sorted soon. By the fact that Minio and Innocent haven't bought, I assume it's something involving one of those two players. We don't get to see though, Kramer.
You're absolutely right. And I'll tell you what I'm interested in, Josh, is what does Anonymous have to change to get that repeatability? Because last round they won it because they had the just consistent aim kills, right? And they kind of took the fights and it worked perfect. But where's the consistency in that? And my worry is that if you are Anonymous, what can you hope to do in a chance to repeat that? Because bear in mind, it was once again their hold that failed. That wasn't a successful round for them. They had to win because of a flank, and, well, that's really where we see a lot of trouble for Anonymous, because Endpoint, they're just going to continue exploiting this.
I think the difference maker for Anonymous last round was that they got aggressive. They tried to take some control, especially towards those B stairs. Now, that's not something you can do every round. That becomes super predictable and super punishable. But I do want to see some more of these aggressive prods, and it seems like that's what we're going to see here towards ramp. Instead of holding deep towards that site, we see a player on the sandbags. We see one on this corner, ready to pounce off of it. And look how much presence there is here from Anonymous. They've got 4 players around this ramp area, and as soon as those smokes fade, they just absolutely obliterate it. That's perfect.
They absolutely do. And as Crucial deploys the odds flash, the odd utility towards this initial position. Let's see if they're able to hold it. CeX, again, he isn't going to show any signs of shifting away from this bomb. And as they continue to just deploy flashes, it's not even flashes which are trying to give them a positional advantage. It's flashes just to keep their enemy back. And as Surreal, smoke in hand, is going to try and hold firm. Still haven't spotted out anyone just yet. As a follow-up smoke means he has to fall away even further now. With 40 seconds left, Endpoint, they luckily have a bit more utility than Anonymous do, who Anonymous, having expended all of it to prevent an early retake, have now found themselves in a position where they've got to win off aim duels, and for Endpoint, they're going to oblige them by shifting forward and taking sights.
Ooh. Keep falling there. It's a key mistake, and Crucial is able to find one more onto Innocent. This needs to be where Anonymous fall away, and they say, how have we thrown this? We need to just hold on to the sights. We need to hit these shots. Kyler getting it done with the scout and the flank from the FAMAS. It's perfect. A lot of damage dealt, but it's no kill found. Finally, Minio can follow up, and look at that. Anonymous, they take the round. They upgrade those weapons. But given the fact that they had an early 2-man advantage, this comes far too close for comfort. Endpoint, they have a scary tendency of finding those huge plays and bringing a round back to contention with seconds left to spare.
You're absolutely right. That was a disgustingly close round, considering how far up Anonymous were. We see Endpoint on the response though, they're able to reinvest, but this time it's that final investment of what was a 5-1 lead. We see them buy down to 0 on Mighty Max, Surreal, Robin and Crucial. Thomas has a fair bit in the bank, and well, with Key falling early on, this could be the opening that Endpoint might be after, which might kickstart a more grander hit towards the safe site.
Well, man advantage again here for Endpoint. This is something that we haven't seen in these last couple of rounds. We've actually seen Anonymous go for these aggressive prods, take the early advantage. That's kind of been what's got them going. With the Molotov there towards sandbags means that they have to waste another one just to clear it. The smoke going down as well might bait that there is someone there. Bit of a mistake there from Endpoint. Means they've got no more Molotovs here for the execution. With a minute left on this clock, they need to hit this A site or decide to go elsewhere. But there we go. There's that opening pick that they're looking for.
Now the 2-man advantage, they get ready for the straight execution, and for Anonymous, sure, there's Minio on the flank, and for a moment he was almost timing terrifically there. That kill is going to spur Endpoint forward. Only 35 seconds left, they don't really have time to re-clear B. CeX now, scopes up towards side, no one's obliging him with this take for the time being. Instead, Innocent is the one who has to go huge, holding the angle, ready for the timing play, still hasn't spotted out anyone just yet. Eventually he'll finish the job onto Mighty Max. Now CeX, he's playing for timing. Does this work for him? Bomb goes down. Scoped in, ready for the retreating member. Shuts down Robin. Now Endpoint in a bit of trouble. CeX having shown his position means that Innocent can get ready for this take as well. Again, going for the high ground over by Tetris. Thomas, on a bit of an off angle, shuts down Mineo. Puts it down into a 2v2. Tries to back away. Innocent shuts him down. All on Crucial now. 1 versus 2. Smoke and Flash ready to go out. Crucial, shifting forward. He knows full well that there's going to be a player on that smoke. Shuts down. Innocent Snacks there to trade. I think there's just enough time as well. Oh, it's bloody close. But Anonymo, they're able to get that defuse. They're able to make it 4. And more importantly, they're able to force Endpoint to a really uncomfortable spot.
Well, that was an impressive shot from Snacks. I thought it at the time. I was like, oh, he's not going to hit this shot. He's not going to expect the jump right out the smoke. But he does. It's absolutely perfect. A couple of big plays there, especially that initial spam. Not sure who it was on the site, but when that wall of smokes went down, he was called upon to find the kill, buy some time for the rotates, and he did exactly that. Perfectly played. Kyler looking to get aggressive here on the B stairs off the back of that incendiary going down. Get some control. It's exactly what he does. Right at the bottom of them, gets himself a nice angle for if Endpoint actually want to re-aggress later. And with Snacks finding that opening pick, this is a force play here from Endpoint, and if they can't win it, they will be down to an eco. And look at that bait, that's unreal.
Absolutely is. Perfect opening. It's all on Crucial. Last man left standing. Innocent finishes the job, and I'll tell you what, Josh, that is a well-recovered almost half by Anonymo to tie things up 5-5. They guarantee that no matter what happens, they have a chance moving on to their T side. And the reality is, for Anonymo, I'm pretty sure that their differential between side preference isn't much. They're as equally happy on the CT side as they are the T side. However, Endpoint on the flip side have a massive dependency on their T side. A 60% win rate on the T side. Over on the CT side, it's only 47. They really need to get more mileage out of this T side, otherwise they're going to be in a lot of trouble.
They absolutely do, yeah. We said how well they were playing at the very start, and I mentioned the fact that they did exactly the same on Inferno. They got off to a really good start. Then Anonymo found their ground, found their footing, and that's where it started to get really scary.
That's
wow.
a round by Surreal there. 2 quick headshots. This is going to kickstart a push towards this beast site. K now one of the only men left to hold. Surreal goes huge. Now it's into just a measly 2-on-4. And Snacks, he blinks and his whole team have just evaporated around him. What on earth can he hope to do here? As we just saw Surreal go absolutely huge.
Well, he has to wait for the flank of Innocent, see if he can do some damage with it. Does spot out the feet there of Surreal. Given the fact that this was an eco for Endpoint, they had extra Kevlar. That means that when they pick up these rifles, they can do damage with them. Snacks, I like the initiative there to jump around, but he just couldn't finish off Robin. If he finds that kill, I think Anonymo win that round, but a big whiff from him, can't connect the head, and that's what costs it. Look at that. Entry kill was crucial. 2 of them. I think they were both in that one.
That was a really close affair, I won't lie. It was Surreal, actually, who got those entries. The thing hasn't opened.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah. I get them mixed up sometimes. I don't know why. They're like the only 2 players that I get mixed up, and there's no reason for it whatsoever.
Do you know who I get mixed up on? Azako Balls, Shane and Shui.
Yeah, I do the same there as well. Yeah, yeah.
Sound, and we're too English. We try and anglicize every single word we can, and unfortunately, their names are just a kind of cruel representation of that. For Endpoint, they move into a lead, to say the least, and more importantly, one they can look to cement, because Anonymo, I'll be honest with you, Josh, they don't have much money.
Yeah, they don't have a huge amount of money, do they? Given the fact they've won a fair few rounds in a row. I think it's just because they've taken a load of casualties in those rounds. We've seen some close clutches and things like that. Even the ones where they've got off to a really good start, they've found like these 2-3 man advantages. Endpoint have been really good at doing damage back towards the end of the round. 6-5 though. And Anonymo, though, let's try and tap the scoreline again as the timeout. It's cancelled. Plenty of firepower here for Anonymo, lacking on the utility a little bit. Key, Snacks, Kyler, not with too much of it to work with. On the other side of things, Endpoint, they've got everything.
That they do. For Anonymo, this is a really quite a tough spot, and As they make their way forward, let's see what they can even begin to do against ENDPOINT here, who go once again for aggressive and fast control towards ramp. Thomas leading this charge, takes a lot of util damage as he does so, but as he survives, he's going to go for a timing play here, which may horrifically detriment Anonymo. As Thomas hard clears this upper angle, sees that the entirety of ramp is clear, and that almost guarantees to him that Anonymo are going for a boost because of the lack of presence. Up goes to the wall bang, and that just forces Anonymo even further away. ENDPOINT, they're really playing for map control here, and it's working beautifully. Mighty Max just goes aggressive, kills 2 quick members. Snacks alone now in a 1 versus however many dare push to site, and, well, as Crucial pushes forward, misses the shot though. Not that it matters, Robin finishes the job, and for Anonymo, that is quite a poor round.
It is, isn't it? They lose those 2 initial gunfights, and Mighty Max is just able to go huge. This is going to go 7-5. ENDPOINT, they're starting to get that mileage out of the T side that you mentioned before. I still like to see a couple more rounds here out of it, to be honest. 8-7, 9-6 in their favour. 9-6, definitely what they're hoping for. And with Anonymo with no cash behind them, and that AWP completely unretrievable, you see Robin actually throwing it right there, getting it out the map. Not that there's any chance for Anonymo to actually be able to retrieve it right now. We see the save come through, and the save is an M4 and a FAMAS. It's really not too much to carry across into the next round, and they're certainly not going to be able to buy around it. So this should just be a freebie 8th here for ENDPOINT, and then a reinvestment in the 14th.
Do you think if you throw an AWP off a skyscraper, it'll survive?
Survive?
Or
What, in real life?
Yeah, it would be usable.
No, definitely not.
You sure?
100%.
No, okay.
They're like, because they've got such long barrels, this is going to sound like nerdy or something, but like, because they've got such long barrels, they're really easy to bend. And if there's like a tiny little like dent or like a little bend in an AWP barrel, it just won't fire.
No, fair enough. Yeah, no, you've sold it to me.
And it will take a big old dent, like 51 floors. We're on floor 51 here on Vertigo, Kremer. And
floor 51, is that like a fact?
There's a big 51 on the wall, so I'm assuming.
Okay. All right, fair enough.
It's over on the A site. I'll point it out when we're next there.
I wonder if they stress test that, and when like, do you know the history behind the L96?
No, I know it's British, but I don't know the history behind it.
Well, after this round, we'll go into the history. It's quite an entertaining story. So, ENDPOINT, as they push their way forward, it's going to be quick little kill onto Geek, innocent trade. Thomas to cement, puts it all onto Thomas, finished off by Mineo. This will give Anonymo their 6th. Now, the L96, Josh, this is interesting, right? So, the L96 was essentially made by 3 Brummies in a shed. Now, Brummies, for you international viewers, is someone from Birmingham. And essentially, it was built in a shed. They kind of just stuck it together and went, sod it, we'll make a gun. And as they made this gun, they kind of occurred to them, hey, why don't we submit it to the, essentially there's like a trial in the UK, and the winner, the gun that wins, gets a contract with the army. And so they submitted it going, yes, no way we win this. And they ended up winning. So they then had an order arrive for like 18,000 L96s. These are 3 guys in the shed. So they got having a moment of, oh god. So they rent out a factory for the day. Because of course the army's going to go inspect their factory. They're going to they rent out like a garage. They have every L96 they've ever built in various forms of disassemblement. Scatter them around the shop. When the military show up, as just to vet them, they go, oh, everyone's on a lunch break. It's all right. And the military, they just go, yeah, all right, fair enough. And while they were, they go for like a kind of courtesy lunch afterwards, and the military, they go, yeah, we were just making sure you weren't 3 guys in the shed. Just make sure. So it's all right. It's all just formality. And, well, as it turns out, there was 3 guys in the shed who created the L96.
That's brilliant. I like that.
Yeah, it's been in use, standard English army, I think, for 40, 50 years now.
Wow. That's got to be a big contract as well. That is big money.
That big money for 3 Brummies in a shed.
That is a lot of money for 3 Brummies in a shed.
That is a lot of money.
What did they do? Buy a pub or something?
I imagine they would have brought, but probably attempted to buy a crew to steal a pub. Be standard kind of UK etiquette. But snacks, that's pretty nice. That definitely isn't standard. Quick little collateral over towards ramp. We got Mighty Max who's going to peek into him anyway. And, well, able to trade, sure that helps, but Snacks still there. Hits now Mighty Max, can't finish the job onto Thomas, but a man down allows Minio to try and finish the job. Damage onto both members, no kill though, as they continue to push their way forward. With the damage done, there's Thomas to fall, all down to Robin, alone in 1 versus 3, and as he's tagged down, just a quick little kill.
Well, for Anonymo to take 8 there is rather impressive. I said Endpoint when they were 7-5 up, that they kind of had to take 8-9 rounds. That's not been the case at all. That's a really, really good half from Anonymo, especially considering they were 5-1 down at one stage. They've recovered this really, really nicely. And you look at this scoreboard. Key having a bit of a rough game here, but Snacks really, really making up for him. He's kind of outputting the performance of 2 players right now. Let's see if that carries across into the second half. If he can pick up that T-sided sniper and have just as much impact with it, then Endpoint are in trouble.
They absolutely are, and, well, moving forward, going into this pistol round, let's see if Anonymo are able to hold, because for Anonymo, this pistol round is going to be their make or break point. You need to bear in mind as well, though, Endpoint, awful CT side. Absolutely awful CT side. They have a huge reliance on their T side. The fact that they even lost their T side needs to be scary for themselves. This pistol round though, this is their chance to kind of make up for that. As they go through with armor and 4 members, just a smoke and 2 flashes. Over towards Anonymo, it's going to be a single smoke and flash. Really, really armor heavy on both sides. I fully expect to see a, well, early pick and, well, dropping shots down Key. Okay, that's exactly what we see. For Mighty Max, positioned over towards mid, spots out these members, rings out a few shots, forced away though. He does still have his utility though. Surreal playing towards stairs, allows Mighty Max to find one. Unable to double down though, but Surreal's there to assist. Turning 180, tries to double down. It's Snacks and Crucial to exchange blows, with Innocent falling. That'll be 8-8.
It's K, isn't it? I've been saying it wrong again.
It's K. It's K. I'm also saying it wrong. I was going to turn you up as well because they said that you sound quiet, Josh.
Oh, okay. Alrighty. It's the morning. Maybe I'm just talking quietly. I'm normally a little more excited, a little more driven up. But look at that.
That's pretty
3
cool.
beautiful faces. Spot the difference. Snacks is in every single one of them. Most kills, most assists, most
just nuts.
whatever the other one was. He's going huge.
Jeremy, just nuts. Of course, do let me know in the chat if Josh is loud enough or not. I assume that he was the quiet one. If not, do let me know. I'm trying to fix it for you guys, even though we are 17 rounds into map 2. But so we've got Surreal. He goes aggressive, shuts down 1 member, make that 2. Minio is able to finish the job. Mighty Max, also on quite a bold angle himself, to be honest. Dinks down, just able to get away in the nick of time, but he's got Robin there to assist, and that should pretty much confirm the kind of outcome of this round with just 14 HP left on Kyler. He'll preferably look to die to an M4 here, and or he might just jump off the map, but he's even able to shut down Crucial, though, as the Eagle lands pretty quickly, and he's even got an M4 on hand, which he just lobs out the map into a 1 versus 3, shifting forward. Got a minute to play with, so definitely not the end of the world if he kills another member, but it's looking unlikely.
Well, I like the fact that Kyler just throws that M4 out of the map. He knows that there's a minute on this clock. It's super unlikely he's going to be able to save in that time, and it's really unlikely that Endpoint have actually got another M4 to retrieve. I'm not sure if he'll actually know that Robin and Thomas have both got one right now, but throwing that M4 out of the map does mean that Mighty Max can't upgrade. And as he comes in, he might even have a shot at another player here as he creeps around the back. I'm not sure if Mighty Max is going to be ready for this. He's probably going to be watching towards mid, not necessarily anticipating the CT flank, but he does so. Kyler drops, and Anonymo, given the fact that that was a full eco, 2 kills, it's not bad at all.
You're right, it's not the end of the world, but I think they'd have wanted a bit more than that. For Endpoint, they move into a kind of bonus here, as they do have this FAMAS on Mighty Max, but for the most part, all SMGs have been removed, which means that for Anonymo, as they move into their full buy, it's about level pegging, as we see who's able to come out on top with these 2 around the board on both members, but no AWP on Snacks.
That could be a problem. We'll have to wait and see as we see these AKs dart towards ramp. Faster stuff, more aggressive, confident play here from Anonymmo. Flash coming in from Crucial. Doesn't swing off of it though. Instead, he just falls away. He's taken damage from those initial spams. He's on 50 points of health and he doesn't fancy his chances against an AK. It's going to allow Anonymmo this ramp control, but what do they do with it? Do they burst into the site off of it? Do they just hold this control for maybe another 20, 30 seconds, then aggress elsewhere? It seems like CeX wants to just get right involved. Nice opening pick there onto Thomas. But look how much damage they've taken. These nades raining over the top. They've got every single one of these members low on health. And as Robin's good for one more, we find ourselves in a 4-on-4 situation. And Crucial can finish another off with the nade. Ooh.
They push their way forward. It's going to be down to both Mighty Max and Robin to go as this retake. Already with players towards side and a flank coming as well. It's almost as if Anonymmo have just swapped places with Endpoint here. But Kyler, I love this aggression for him. He's got Innocent to support. Innocent, he needs to be wary of the flank over from ramp though. When any second now he might be in trouble himself. But the timing just blesses him there. As both members shift towards side, they just dance around each other like rotating arms with a clock face. And well, for Robin, last man left standing, 17 HP, quickly finished off by Innocence. And for Anonymmo, that'll be 9, that'll be the equalizer. And more importantly, it forces Endpoint to a very bad bye.
It really does, yeah. Being on this CT side as well with no loss bonus. I think they're going to have to force hit. What that means is that if they can't topple it, going into the next round, it'll be an eco. Then they'll buy in the follow-up. That's going to allow Anonymmo onto 11-9. Unless Endpoint can get something done with these Desert Eagles. But Anonymmo, they looked rather fierce last round. K, the man with the MAC-10. Everybody else with the AK-47s. And spamming through this smoke, they're not going to be able to do any damage. Because Endpoint, they're playing from an arm's length.
That they are, and as we get ready to see who they will come out on top, we have this brief lull in which neither side want to commit to this engagement. Robin, I think he's about to commit to a lineup here. I have to see, I think he may have just been setting himself up. However, as Anonymmo, they just deploy the odd nade here or there to just gain some presence. Endpoint being really quite quiet around this site.
Well, a lot of early damage dealt. Minio coming up ramp with this AK, looking to take the first jewels. There we go, Robin gone. Nice headshot from him, spots out the second head behind the boxes. Whilst he can't connect onto it, he's going to relay that information onto K, but CeX will find it regardless. Smoke down, stops the fallback, and well, K's able to farm down Crucial. Surreal now left in the 1 versus 5. This force buy not been successful at all for Endpoint. And now, as we go into what will be round number 20, Endpoint, they will have lost the lead for the first time in a little while.
You're absolutely right, and Endpoint, considering how dominant the start of this map was, the fact it's now level pegging is just heartbreaking for them. Few shots re out though, Surreal forced to wait. And unfortunately for Endpoint, they've got to go straight down to an eco after this. So not only do Endpoint go down a round, not only do they lose the lead, they also go down 2 rounds, which means they're not going to be able to have like a quick buy round to pull them straight back. They are still in a tough spot, and as that bomb goes off, we hit round 20, 2/3 of the way through this game, and frankly, it looks like Anonymmo is starting to emerge just a little bit ahead.
They really are, yeah. They're looking strong on their T side. Honestly, I think they've kind of pulled ahead since what was round number 13, when that scoreline was 7-5 in Endpoint's favour. I was really fancying their chances. Since that point, Anonymmo have just been rather unstoppable. And as I mentioned before, it's going to go 11-9. Surreal, he actually saved in the last round just so that he can have something to work with here. I can't imagine it's going to have too much impact, but if he can find a kill or two, then it's definitely more than he could have done in that last round in the 1-on-5. And there we go. There's that opening kill. Not sure if there's an opportunity for him to retrieve that rifle. There actually is. The AK, it was lurking by itself. And Surreal now has a pretty powerful weapon and an opportunity to do some damage with it. The issue is his teammates don't have anything right now, and they should just be mowed away.
Well, they should. Smokes go down. Manu able to shut down Crucial into this 4-on-4. We see Surreal looks to push his way forward. AK in hand, rings out a few shots here or there, tries to come out on top, but CeX finishes the job. Minio able to find a kill of his own, leaves it all on to Robin and Thomas with a key, looking to go aggressive. That's that AK being unable to be saved by Thomas, leaving it all on Robin in a 1 versus 4. And, well, he's also quickly killed. Okay, he's able to get all the money in the world off the back of that, save the AK, and save himself a bit of an investment. Endpoint, they invest themselves, but this really is a make or break round for them. Moving forward, let's see who's going to be able to come out on top with what will be an initial shelling from this side. Again, with CeX able to shut down Thomas, there's the opening that's required. CeX on the flip side takes a fair bit of damage, but Minio able to finish the job, puts us into a 4-on-3. Flashes go down. Minio, he almost wants to encourage this push, and CeX is more than happy to oblige his teammate. He spotted the player towards Tetris. No, he didn't. So instead, he's got a position on sandbags, which hasn't really been detected yet. Instead, presence shown towards mid with the distance shutting down Surreal. There's the B-site swinging open. CeX on the flank, good for another. Robin alone in a 1v4, and he will quickly and summarily be executed. Kylo there to finish the job, and for Anonymo, this is a 12-9 lead in which they are forcing Endpoint to a tough old spot. And for Endpoint, it's really a matter of, I think they've got about 1 buy left in them.
Yeah, I mean, last round, it was a similar scenario, a similar kind of crossroads to what we saw on Inferno, where Endpoint, that was their chance to turn it around, to keep the game contentious and maybe take it their way. But by losing it, they allow Anonymo to extend this lead further. We're probably going to see the scoreline go 13-9. And then, as you say, that final Endpoint buy-up, that will come through in... Well, it won't quite be their final buy-up, but round number 24, they'll have a buy. If they lose it, Anonymo will take it 14-9. That's quite a scary prospect. That's where Endpoint will be able to pull out 1 more. They're doing a fair amount of damage here in this eco round. Robin, he's found himself an AK, but with only 1 point of health, and Surreal massively out of position here. I can't imagine they're able to do a whole lot, but with Surreal finding 1 more, and the final 2 members running into him, he might be able to do damage here, but he just can't connect the shots required.
With that, Robin Hill full. Anonymo, that'll be 13, and this is really the stage where they are just a hop, skip, and a jump away from really just closing out this map. More importantly, closing out this series. Endpoints, just 4 rounds separates them and Anonymo. With only 1 buy, they're going to be able to boast between now and what could potentially be the end of the game. They absolutely need to win this. Earlier, it was a quality of life make or break. Right now, this is a genuine make or break with their backs pressed up against the wall, staring down the barrel of a 2-0 defeat.
Exactly, and Anonymo, they're the underdogs in this series. I don't think anyone was really expecting them to take... Well, I don't think a lot of people were expecting them to take the series. I don't think anyone was expecting them to take it in a 2-0 fashion. If you're watching from home and you did, then hats off to you, because I wasn't expecting this. Innocent does find himself 1 back. This was a good early 2-man advantage here for Endpoint, but if Innocent could double down, then he single-handedly brings it back into a 3-on-3. And takes the B site with it. That lurk play is absolutely perfect.
That they are. Plant goes down. This leaves Endpoint in a really tough position now. It's a tough decision to make of whether or not they do go for this, simply because they lose it. They are absolutely out of money and, well, out of hope. Max the full. Trade there by the molly, but leave it all on Crucial. I would love to see him save this. And I think we might in just a moment. No, he's going to go for it. It's bold, to say the least. He's able to get that smoke onto the bomb. Nice little shot onto Kyler. He'll tap that bomb. He'll stick that bomb through the smoke. Minio, can he shut him down? No, he can't. He's not going for the spam, and Endpoint win the round. However, they lose Crucial, which means they won't have a bomb or an orb. Tell you what as well, it's really hard to finish talking in time for that ad to run, Josh, I won't lie.
It is, yeah. It just kind of comes out of nowhere, doesn't it?
I think they throw it to us pretty hard.
I think it's consistent. I think it's round... I can't remember what rounds it's on, but I think it's like round 8 and round 24 or something like that.
Really obscure numbers as well, just to make it even easier.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I suppose any numbers are fairly obscure number, though, unless you say it just comes through at, like, half-time or pistol rounds or something. But anyway, Endpoint, it's a huge clutch there from that AWP of Crucial last round. But what it does mean is that going into this 24th, they have to fully reinvest with every single player dying. And on that CT side, where you've only got $3,400, and that $3,400 isn't really enough to pull out a proper buy, they haven't really got anything here. They've got FAMASes, they've got an MP9, and they're being completely shut down. Look at this. Snack's finding another, and going into this next Endpoint, they're not going to have any money again. Anonymo, this should secure them 15.
It should do as well, and Endpoint, they're going to be so defeated by this Robin with only a FAMAS. He's got to try and save that, and the fact that this FAMAS is like scraping the bottom of the barrel for them shows how dire their economy is. And, well, with a reality which will just be pistols this round, Anonymo hit 15, and for Endpoint, this could be the end of the line.
It absolutely could be, yeah. We need to see pistols, and we need to see a big play with them. In many rounds this game, we've seen Surreal hit some big shots with these Desert Eagles, but that's kind of it. That's all we've really seen with these Desert Eagles. So as we go into the 25th, Anonymo looking to just farm these pistols, looking to push themselves onto a 15-10 scoreline. This whole Vertigo game and the whole way it's played out is a bit of a mirror image to what we saw on Inferno. Same story, different setting. Now as they spam through this smoke, look how much damage they've done.
It's really looking quite dire for Endpoint, isn't it? Again, Surreal and Crucial. Both members are standing. Well now, definitely one on Surreal. 1 versus 5. Shifting his way up from ramp. He might be able to catch out one of these AKs. Might be able to save this AK. Surreal, who's had some fairly decent plays with this Deagle. However, unfortunately for him, he is being hunted by the full might of Anonymo, and no amount of body shot damage will tank him through that. Anonymo, they lead 15-10. They force Endpoint to an investment, their final investment of this game, unless they can win it here. And for Anonymo, looking pretty damn strong, Josh, I won't lie. Looking at 13k on both Minio and Kyla post-buy. I think they're not going to have any economic woes for pretty much the rest of the game.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, even if Endpoint do pull this one back, you're right. They'll need to take back-to-back buy rounds, 5 in a row. It's not like they'll be allowed any freebies. It's overtime or bust here for the British side, and as Robin Swede gets aggressive, see if he's anticipated here. It's a play that he hasn't really gone for yet, but Snacks is ready for it. Flicks around, hits the shot, does get tanked down to 6 HP, but wins the engagement. Key looking to find another, can't quite do so. As the flash comes over, he falls right away too. Mighty Max looking to try and go for the swing, but in the meantime, Kyla, he's got right up mid. It's not being watched, it's not being relayed, and that's it. Anonymo, that's got to be game over.
Yeah, absolutely right. That should be our final nail in the coffin. Okay, I thought he timed out for a second there. It's down to Mighty Max and Crucial. Last 2 members left standing, pushing their way towards CT. They'll be running into the awaiting arms of Kyla. That bomb's already down, 35 seconds to spare, and we need this clutch to come in quickly. Kyla good for one, his teammate good for the other. Just like that, Anonymo, they take map 2, 16-10. They took map 1, 16-11. They come out on top. They rise above and beyond, taking their series 2-0 and rising prevalent here.
Yeah, really, really great stuff there from Anonymo, of course. A 2-0 series, and one that they'll be very, very happy with. Endpoint, that's a disappointing result from them. I don't want to just put it down to Flames not being there. I don't think that Thomas was necessarily the issue at all. I think he had a decent series. But yeah, I mean, this definitely doesn't help when it comes to all of these results we've seen recently and everything that's been said about Endpoint recently regarding how they're going to fare without Flames. So unfortunate they weren't able to take this one, but hopefully we see them bounce back in the near future.
You're absolutely right, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you guys so much for watching. I don't think we're here tomorrow, are we, Josh?
No, we're not. We've got a couple of days off.
We'll be here on Friday. We're going to leave the stream running. See you guys all in a bit, and you guys will have a wonderful day.
Feel free to talk.
Boss, we've done all as you said.
Are you sure about that?
Yes, boss. Everything like you asked. It's in my car, boss.
I'm surprised. You're actually good for something.
So, where is it, Brady?
Here, in the trunk.
What the fuck is that? You fat Irish prick. You're supposed to bring me a coat, not a skinny animal kid. Where is LOOT.BET code I asked it for?
Well, he wasn't talking.
Are you out your mind, Brady? Because I swear, I put your brain to sleep. He ain't talking because his fucking mouth is closed.
So, maybe I should open it.
Oh, don't kill me, please. I tell you everything. Code is loot, loot. I'm young. I don't wanna die.
Boss, cut is loot.
Oh my god, idiot.